everybody. Welcome to Roll to Talk, where you get to roll to talk. Okay, that's a lot better than the previous time I tried to make that into a...
Oh, I've got to get my dice ready.
Oh, lordy. I am Dice&Autism. I am one of your co-hosts, and with me today is our other co-host, Witty X Witch. Say hi, Witty.
Hi, Witty.
Yeah! How's it goes? We are on episode 5 of our first season, which is pretty fucking dope. I'm super excited. This is so cool. So we're halfway there. Living on a prayer. Bon Jovi, please don't sue me for copyright infringement.
Whoa.
Oh God. I don't think we need to really worry about that with podcasts.
So, funny story, when I was in high school, we did poetry recitations for a grade. It was poetry out loud, if anyone watching has ever done that or heard of it.
Okay.
And one of my classmates did not want to do it for like the school-wide competition. You did the grade in class, and then you got picked to go on, and then you could go on to like state level. It was crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't want to do it, but they made him do it anyway. And he, instead of reciting an actual poem, recited Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer."
That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was. It should be on YouTube actually, but FYI, the audio quality is not good as it was on a high schooler's phone in the 2010s. But it was really funny because he didn't like sing it or anything, but he included all the like, whoa parts. But he'd be like, whoa, whoa, living on a prayer.
Oh God,
it was fantastic.
That is a level of like creative laziness that I just love so much. It's just like, all right, fine, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it in the laziest way possible and also troll you. So, excellent.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So today, as we are talking about D&D in the first season and stuff, we are going to talk about one of my favorite aspects of Dungeons and Dragons and how it is like interpreted in other media and everything, because you know, back in the day, D&D was kind of like a niche hobby and everything, but now it's become pretty mainstream, so it's very popular to see it in like other aspects and everything. So yeah,
and if you don't believe it's become mainstream, I saw the D&D 5e starter pack in the Target Junior section a few years ago. So
the junior section. Okay, I got my starter pack 5 years ago when I started D&D at Target as well, but oh my.
Yeah, it was in the girls junior section. And I was like, oh, no, it's mainstream. If it's in the Target girls section,
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, God, it just makes me so happy with it and stuff, because I feel like the stories you can tell with D&D is, like, so many cool possibilities. And there's also, like, canon lore and stories with D&D, so it's cool to see kind of it, like, acted out in formats that's kind of easier for people to kind of like understand, besides watching actual plays or like reading the books, like reading the core rule books, which can be like text-inducing anxiety with a bunch of walls.
I'm reading the Curse of Strahd adventure guide right now, and I am just like, wow, this is so dry.
Yep.
And not to say like the adventure is boring, obviously not, it's one of the fan favorites, but just reading the actual text, and I know what we're doing, and I'm just still like, God, this is tough to read.
Yeah, core rule books don't really have much personality, at least in my opinion, when it comes to like D&D books. Other TTRPG books have that personality and they could digest, kind of like how Vampire the Masquerade and World of Darkness books really do the whole immersive kind of like, hey, you're diving into a secret here and all that stuff. But it's also, they don't do a good job of like making sure what lines are clear of like, here's lore stuff, but here's also rules of how mechanics of your clan plays. So it's like, yeah. But yeah, okay. So, yeah, well, okay. Yeah, okay. So media and everything. Oh, well, I guess we can start off with like basic media that everyone knows, television and everything. Oh, okay, with television and everything, because in like television you have TV shows and films and everything. So yeah, how about that and everything? So yeah, sorry.
So as far as like TV goes, the only one that comes to mind for me is Stranger Things, which I have not actually seen. Because I am a chicken and I do not watch scary stuff. to quote the Scooby-Doo movie, I don't go anywhere with spooky, haunted, forbidden, or creepy in the name, and that that branches out to a bunch of other stuff. And so a lot of people were like, you'd really like Stranger Things that has D&D in it, and I was like, that is not really the criteria for me to watch TV.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Stranger Things has like a good implement of like D&D and everything, and like I do appreciate how like we have like kids like really showing their love of D&D and using that as a way to kind of like understand the strange things that are happening in the world and stuff, and that's always cool. Because like they named like the Demogorgon, Vecna, Mind Flayers, all that stuff. That's really, really cool. But as like the seasons went on and everything, they kind of like went less and less of it and stuff until like season 4 with Eddie really kind of like brought that whole theme of like how effective of the community it really builds and stuff. And it was just like with the Hellfire Club and everything, it was just like choice.
I will say another show that occurred to me as far as D&D inspiration is Delicious in Dungeon or Dungeon Meshi, which is an excellent show. I love that show.
I love that show. I love the manga so freaking much. My favorite fun fact about the series Delicious in Dungeon is that the mangaka ended the series early so that way she can continue playing Baldur's Gate 3 because she was like hyper obsessed. I think she was like trying to like romance Shadowheart or something. It was either Shadowheart or Alistair, because I remember she was like, she did like a
Asterion?
little like, yeah, Asterion. Why did I say a stop?
Probably because people think that Baldur's Gate 3 is the spiritual successor to Dragon Age Origins, which it does have Alistair.
Yeah. Oh, wait, people really think Baldur's Gate 3 is a spiritual success? Oh my god.
Well, yeah, because basically the idea that they're having is like Baldur's Gate 3 and like the darker fantasy elements, the way that these characters are like so catty to each other reminds them of playing Dragon Age Origins. And I read recently, and I didn't know this, basically is the Dragon Age Origins team was working on Baldur's Gate when whatever version they were working on got scrapped. And so a lot of Dragon Age Origins was carryover from their time with that. So
that explains why Astorian had the sass to match Morgan. Oh my god. That is glorious. But yeah, with stuff like that and everything, it was really, really cool. There was like in the 80s and stuff when like there were pushing for like D&D to be accepted in mainstream, because back in the day people kind of like associated D&D as like satanic and everything, which was like,
yes, it was all part of the satanic panic, not in the least led by Billy Graham.
It was Billy Graham. Oh my god,
he was part of it.
Okay. Yeah, and I do know, because through osmosis and everything, it's become like kind of like a cult classic favorite among like D&D fans, especially older D&D fans, that about the animated TV show of Dungeons and Dragons, which is like, oh, okay, cool.
I want to do a Sheila cosplay so bad. She's on my list of cosplays.
Oh yeah, some of the designs look pretty dang cool, and the animation for the 80s, pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also just become kind of like very iconic because you have like the little dungeon master dude in his outfit, which is just like glorious.
which is of course permeated into kind of like what we assume about a dungeon master too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's like shows that, and like speaking of also like the satanic stuff, there was also like movies that did like the whole like, oh, stay away from these games like Dungeons and Dragons because they might seduce you. Like there was like TV movie with like a very young in his career Tom Hanks, which was like, oh god. It was trying so hard to be serious and like this is serious, this is dramatic, and it's just like, no, what are we doing here? Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, you can find so many different like shows, whether it's the Dungeons and Dragons animated series or if it's Dungeon Meshi or like adjacent to it but not as D&D inspired is Freerun.
Yes.
But I will say one thing I think is very interesting about Freerun is the lifespan of the elves, which is a little bit longer than it is in D&D, but I feel like we kind of forget to deal with that at our own tables a lot. You kind of just hand wave away the fact that elves live for 400 to 500 years and humans do not. And Aarakocra only live like 30 years or something insane.
That still makes me sad. Those poor bird people.
I know. Which I mean, if you assume like, okay, you're a year or two old and therefore you are mature like a regular bird, then you've been adventuring for 28 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
So like you're in your 20s at like 5.
Oh my god.
but it's one of those things that like we forget all the time. And so it's really interesting to see Freerun kind of handle that. We've mentioned Baldur's Gate, and a similar thing that I'm like so delighted by is the trance. Because you actually, if you play an elf or you have Astarion or whatever, you see them sleeping in trance mode. Which we always forget to do. Like your elven PC should almost always be taking a watch because they only need 4 hours of sleep.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh god, it's just so good. Yeah, and it's really cool to see how like they keep the details and like the little lore of between characters and stuff and everything. And like all of them are very, very good, especially Baldur's Gate 3, and like the previous 2 Baldur's Gate games, which are just kind of like both kind of like really implemented the old rules, because I think first one was like around like 2nd edition, and then third one was like third 3.5 or something. And so like somehow they made like Thaco like workable and understandable in the first game, which was like okay, but still kind of confusing. But I was like, all right.
I also know there's the old D&D movie. That came out around like 1st or 2nd edition era. Which I have not seen it because I have seen clips of the special effects and they dated.
God. The live action Dungeons and Dragons. I actually have it in my notes here. Released in early in the 2000s, and it had
it does not look like the 2000s. It looks like it's the 80s.
Pretty much like I wouldn't say 80s. I'd probably say like low budget 90s, but they were trying very, very hard, but they just didn't have the resources and stuff.
And, I'm not saying like, oh, that makes it a horrible movie. I have watched plenty of B movies with bad effects. George and the Dragon Chief among them. It's so stupid and funny. But just so everyone knows, you're signing up for B movie tier special effects.
B-movie tier special effects, and just like Jeremy Irons just like hamming it the fuck up, and like the best fucking part of the movie.
This is not D&D related, but it is Jeremy Irons related. I was watching The Man in the Iron Mask with Leo DiCaprio, Jeremy Irons, and John Malkovich. And it is so funny because there's a scene where they're like all talking and John Malkovich is not like acting at all. Like, man is cashing a check and that is it, and that is fine. But as Athos as the Musketeer, he's just kind of like staring at one point and is delivering his lines very flatly. But then you have Jeremy Irons, who is like looking from point to point and like having this inspirational speech and has a lot of like cadence in his voice, and it's just like an epic battle of overacting and underacting.
I mean, I think I actually prefer overacting over underacting, because you can tell like they're trying and very much, and like even though like they're aware like the material is not good, they're still gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna put an effort in it, and hell, if they know it's probably not gonna do well, they're probably gonna have a little bit of fun and goofiness to like make it a little bit more digestible.
Yeah, as a theater kid too, I have a lot more appreciation for overacting, because I can assume that because you always have to overact on stage. Obviously you don't want to like do a drama as a comedy overact, but like you still need to be bigger with your stuff. So the translation makes a lot more sense to me from theater to overacting in movies, as opposed to like if you've been in movies the whole time and you're still underacting. Now what?
Yeah.
But enough of that tangent. Back to D&D media.
Yeah, back to D&D media. And continuing on with Dungeons and Dragons movies and everything, we had in 2017. Oh, God, it was that long ago? Oh my God. Oh, no, it was transferred. No, it was transferred the rights. I was looking at my notes wrong and everything.
Okay.
Hasbro transferred the rights to Paramount Pictures, and then they made the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie, which was released in 2023, and that is just fucking, I want to say, probably the best D&D media out there. I don't give a fuck. I will fight for it because
I have a preference towards Dungeon Meshy, but whatever.
Oh yeah,
to each their own.
No. Dungeon Meshy is really, really good. Dungeon Meshy is really, really good. It's one of those series that are really inspired by D&D and everything, which is really, really good. And I love those shows deeply. And I wish Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast would just like unclench the rules of how like people can like use their materials and stuff and just be a little bit more open for other writers and everything and all that stuff. So it's like, but no, I really love the Honor Among Thieves movie because it just felt like an actual campaign you would watch and have with your friends and stuff. It was just
exactly.
It
had that swashbuckly, pulpy goofiness to it, and it was like one of my favorite bits though was is like the fourth wall jokes. So like when Roger Jean Page as the cleric is walking away and they're like, wow, he just walks in a straight line, I wonder if he's gonna go around the big rock, and he just goes up over it, because that's what we do at the actual table. So it is so clear to me that movie was made by people who actually play the game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, in that game in that movie, if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, with all of like the abilities and spells they do, even though they never said the name of said things, automatically what they have been casting and the monsters' abilities and just how they pay attention to the details and stuff. And they all did a fantastic job. And the practical effects for like most of the shit, it was just like, oh, so good.
So I forget the actor's name. Let me look it up real quick. Because I already said Regé, so I've got to say the other ones too. IMDb, help me out, please.
Yeah. Because you had Chris Pine.
Justice Smith as Simon, the wizard.
Yeah, Simon. Oh, I love Simon.
Yep. Did you see the video where Justice was talking about basically using somatic components?
I think I remember hearing about that or something.
So essentially, like he said that basically one of the things he hates in movies where they use magic is when your magic spell user just holds their hand out and that's the end. That's the spell. With every spell that he did as the party wizard, he kept trying to like do different stuff, and so he talks about the wagon escape when he shoots the cloud out, and he scoops cloud out of his hand and then fires it, and he does that every single time. But he mentioned that he liked to mess with the effects crew because they would have to animate it however he did it.
Oh God, because that's also a pretty cool detail, because like. A detail that we don't really think about when it comes to spellcasting in D&D and everything is that for spellcasting there are three components to your spells. There's like verbal.
Verbal, somatic, and material.
Yeah. I was confusing somatic with verbal. So and material and everything.
And so you have to say it. You have to use your hands, and you have to have the stuff. And unless you have an arcane focus, which lets you bypass that. But and again, this is something I feel like gets left out of our games. At our own table a lot, because a lot of people don't use the components, which is fine. I mean, it makes it easier on your spellcaster for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely,
and also easier on the DM because you're not having to adjust an encounter for but this area is silenced, so you can't do it. Or thinking about that, like it does make it easier on a lot of people at the table, but you also forego a lot of really cool moments that you could farm if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I like that video has been like circulating a little bit because I am a big defender of components as written.
Yeah.
And also because some of them are fun. Like the tech thoughts is a copper piece. That's your material component. It's a penny for your thoughts. It's funny.
Exactly.
And your lightning spells, if they use a gemstone or semi-precious stone, it's amber because it's conductive.
Amber. I didn't know ambers. Wait, if they're conductive, so that explains why the thunderstones in Pokemon look very amber.
That's why.
Hey, I learned something new today.
It is the only stone that is conductive.
That is. Nature is weird, man.
If there's a geologist in the comments and I'm wrong, please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry.
We are canceled by the geologist community. Yeah.
Please be constructive in your criticism. Thank you.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, no, like Justice Smith did fantastic. Hugh Grant was just like a fucking...
He's so funny. He's so funny in that movie.
He was so fucking funny in that movie. And Chris Pine, I was a little bit iffy about Chris Pine because
I'm never iffy about Chris Pine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like, for me, Chris Pine was kind of hit and miss. Like, I do appreciate that he's got the talent and chops and everything because I love the Guardians movie from DreamWorks and everything. My boy Jack, he did such a great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, Rise of the Guardians. I'm still waiting for another movie sequel, whatever, in that DreamWorks. Come on, man.
Yeah, you said Guardians and I thought Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, wrong Chris. Worse Chris.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. But no, but he did such a great job of balancing out, like, not bumbling, because no, he's not a bumbling like bard or anything. He's like a bard who's kind of like he's trying to be overconfident, but he doesn't have the confidence for himself and everything.
I was gonna say he is overconfident in his charming abilities.
Yeah. Which was very good, and like I was a little sad he didn't have like any bard spells or anything. Well, there's like the illusion spell, but I'm pretty sure that was from Simon. So I guess. I guess he's like, because like everyone else has got kind of like said like, is he more like a rogue, like a mastermind rogue or something?
He was definitely giving more rogue with a lute than he was bard just based on the stats. But also, I don't feel like I would also say that like because he is the main character, and therefore is the inspiration to all of these characters. Like that's kind of where his bard aspect came in.
Okay.
And it's less by nature of being a bard and more by nature of him being the main character. But that Venn diagram's not that different. So.
Yeah. And you also have the barbarian. I can't remember her name, but she was
Helga.
Helga. Yeah, because the actress is famous for like the Fast and Furious movies and stuff, and I've always appreciated her because she's like one of those cool like actresses that just kind of like, yeah, I can be pretty badass and kick shit, and it's like, yeah. And seeing her like being a barbarian and also being kind of like battle intelligent as well as like outside battle intelligence to be kind of like looking at Chris Pine's character and being like, bro, this is like a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Like, yeah, I know it's a bad idea.
To not be the stupid barbarian.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But we talked about this before too with like Grog, like Travis is obviously like the strategist and Grog has an intelligence of 6. And so Grog gets to kind of be a little bit smart when it comes to specifically strategy. But Helga has that same thing going on as well, except hers translates to beyond just this one thing, this one strategic choice. Like one of my favorite scenes with her is when they're about to be executed and she just like rocks everybody's shit. And Chris Pine like hits one guy with a lute and he's like, I did something.
Oh god.
But you can see her kind of like calculating this entire scenario, and it's almost Sherlock Holmesy the way that she calculates that dynamic and then wins it.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. And let's see. We have one more party member. Yes, the
druid.
the druid tiefling, which I was shocked that like she was a tiefling and everything, because I was kind of expecting more like how we usually been depicting tieflings in mainstream stuff, like the Skittle Squad and everything.
Yeah, they are the Skittle Squad.
But in like actual D&D lore, they're kind of like more like, is it like tannish or something with just the horns?
They can be like human skin tones.
Okay.
And also like shades of red.
Yeah.
Like red, brown, and beige is basically the color schemes they're working with. But like your purple tiefling, your blue tiefling, are definitely not canon. And then pink, it depends on the color of pink, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, do we mean pink like me with a pink undertone, or do we mean like pink like bubblegum? Bubblegum, not really. Yeah. Not really canon, but you know what? It's cute, and I don't care.
Yeah, it was cute, and I understand probably with like the amount of paint and like makeup for the chair, that would probably take up a whole bunch, and like how like uncomfortable it'll probably be, because you've heard stories of like other actors having to do full body paints, like the actress for like Mystique in like the original X-Men trilogy movie had to go through like a lot. So
yeah, and I haven't heard too much about the Wicked series, but Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba is also having to paint herself green every time. So
yeah, so it was like all right, I will accept that. I'm a little sad because I always love my rainbow tieflings and everything.
I do think that this movie was trying to stick more to the canon, because obviously the movie didn't want to get the backlash, if you will, of like, well, actually that's not how it goes in the book. I guess I get it, whatever, and if that's why, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. That probably is the case, because internet critique is just
yeah, the internet is a dangerous place.
It is. But I really like the druid, how she was very much kind of like not your typical druid, where it'd just be kind of more of like, hey, nature is peace, and like we gotta harmonize everything.
Yeah, she's not a hippie.
No, she was like ready to fucking go and like drop it a dime and a hat. Like her whole scene where she turned into an owl bear and everything, just fucking choice. And I was just like, oh fuck yeah. And I think that was like the first big controversy
yeah
for like the D&D movie, when people were like, you can't really wild shape into an owl bear because they're not really like an animal, it's in the wild shape category. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, it's an owl bear.
And also, like, we want to see an owl bear in D&D, come on.
Exactly, they're like the second most like iconic monster in D&D, next to the dragon.
My favorite moment with Doric the Druid was whenever she beat the snot out of that red witch lady at the very end. Like Hulk smash with Loki, just like a rag doll. And I was like, yes.
That final fight scene was so fucking good. That really felt like how like combat works in like D&D, and put it in like real life. I was like, oh damn, pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And no, it was the characters' like relationship with each other and their dynamics were just fucking awesome. Simon and Doric, I think her name was. Right?
Doric is the druid.
Yeah, Doric. They had like a fun relationship and everything. It was kind of cute how Simon was kind of like, also like, hey, you want to like go out sometime? And Doric was very much like, nah. But at the end would be like, we can hang out. And Simon's just like, yeah. I was like, I'm always a sucker for those kind of stories and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's cool how they took these like character archetypes. Like you mentioned how your druid isn't like like a hippie. She's more like an eco-terrorist.
Very much.
And your bard is not. He thinks he's really charming, but he's not as charming as he thinks. Yeah. And also has this like very heartfelt backstory. The barbarian gets to actually be intelligent. And similarly, like, your wizard, you think normally the background is going to be, like, acolyte or sage or, one of those things. But really, Simon's more of an urchin.
Yeah. Like, urchin entertainer or something like that. And, like, his whole, like, story arc of, like, being more confident with his spell casting abilities and stuff. That was just, like, Yes.
Yeah.
And even like the magic helmet that he attuned with to like be like, hey yo.
Oh, I forgot about the helmet.
Yeah. That was really cool and stuff. And like
yeah, and I like how they did the attunement.
Yeah. God, one of my favorite scenes is when they had like the whole dimension door heist scene. That was just like perfect. Oh God, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I think one of my favorite small detail is also how the barbarian just has is like not putty, but also is like completely obvious with like people of who she's just like, oh damn, they're my type. Sup?
Yep.
It was like, hells yeah.
She's definitely the player that's like, so are they hot?
Oh, definitely. I was like, fuck yeah, all right. But yeah, the movie, everyone very much loved that movie. Like, consensus of like popular D&D group and everyone was like, fuck yeah, amazing movie. And like,
And to be fair, there were some kind of valid criticisms, like the orc in the very opening scene being kind of a stereotype, like maybe not the best. I did hear some critique on Chris Pine, and not on his acting necessarily, but it the fact, okay, a white dude, great. You know, and as we have these conversations about like, race versus species and the bonuses that come with that, previously called racial bonuses, like there are definitely valid criticisms in how we interpret D&D and how that movie sort of maybe perpetuated some of those problems that people have had before. So, like, I do know a few people that didn't like it just because it was a little bit stereotypical in that way. But overall, as far as the execution of D&D to screen, yes, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely felt like... very much like you said, of just like executed well, still problematic stuff that was still kind of like pillars and like kind of do, which I felt like they. Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if anyone wants to hear more about like some of those issues, the Dragon Con tabletop YouTube does have a video on it where Bendy Mitchell of Obsidian Brews talks about their thoughts on that, and they have a lot of very insightful commentary.
Yeah, definitely. And the Solvingly Trolls podcast also dives into the deep history of like D&D as a whole, with all the races and everything, especially with like old D&D, with how problematic it was very at the time, especially with
Garrigan, even current D&D, because you remember the Hazadi?
Oh, how did that get passed? Oh!
It was bad. We're not going to talk about that here, but if you want to look it up, go ahead. It was not good.
We're not going to talk about that, but it was like very much. I feel like going a little bit too like close to like loyal to the material, and when everyone else is like, you know what, those stuff that kind of was in the beginning of D&D, problematic, need to erase. And yeah, and I think that's where kind of like the D&D inspired like shows and movies really take an effect of just kind of like, we have like the similar themes and races for like all that stuff, but we're not bound to those stupid rules. So, fuck yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the movie was really good, and like we haven't had like any other media from like that. Honor Among Thieves, which really makes me sad, because it's like it was like a slam park, everyone did well, and then Paramount's like, we're not gonna really touch it. I'm like, fuck you, come on, man.
Yeah, I can only assume that like the box office wasn't as successful as they hoped, because it was 2023 and COVID it was then and is still a thing, and that was, I remember there was a spike around that time that people were like, do we need to go to the theater? I wasn't going to the theater at all until we had to do that Dragon Con video for it. And I was like, I guess I'll go to the theater.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's like pretty much all for like D&D stuff. I did hear that there's like there was a series was revealed in like February 2025 of this year that Hasbro had partnered up with Netflix to like write a like potential like mini live action D&D series, but for about 8 episodes. So it's like, okay, cool. That should be good. Little worried with like putting it on Netflix, because Netflix canceling pretty much anything that is good is like,
yeah.
Oh god. But yeah. Let's see.
We can talk more about Baldur's Gate too, because we didn't really talk about it too much.
Yes, Baldur's Gate. Yes, the other like big media that's like gotten everybody. Oh god, I love that game so fucking much.
I have not finished it.
I
am barely in Act 2.
I finished that game on stream and everything. It's such a fun game of everything. It literally feels like you're playing like one of those old school paperback D&D novels in a game. And it's like, it's really, really good, and how they implement all like the character and lore and make like the lore of like the world and like the gods especially a lot less complicated to understand. So it's just like
yeah, for
really
me,
yep.
like, for me playing it, because again, I'm only in Act 2. And like, the reason I have not finished it is, number one, I don't have time. Number two, I have a tabletop game almost every day of the week right now.
Dang.
Like, I think I've got 2 or 3 days a week that are not eaten up by that. So I was talking to another friend of mine, and we kind of made the joke, was like, yeah, we're not playing Baldur's Gate because we play enough D&D in real life. I don't need to play it by myself.
Oh, yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally fair.
But that being said, you know, I mentioned earlier how I really like how they've done the trance. I was in Shadow Heart's Gauntlet Temple place, and they had that silence, and I was like, oh, we're actually using the rules. Dang.
Yeah.
So I do think it's very fun, and it will remind me of some of the rules that I've like forgotten. So yeah, I do think it's neat. And the turn base is very D&D.
Oh yeah, yeah. And another thing I liked about like the Baldur's Gate, because like an aspect that we kind of forget about to do, or like are intimidated to do when it comes to D&D, is the puzzle aspect of things, because the DMs, because there's always been situations when DMs will put out like a puzzle, like, oh, this should be like an easy puzzle to everyone to figure out, and everyone is like stuck there for like an hour, and the DM is just like, oh man, did I fail and everything.
Always have a built-in hint. Have your smarty pants players roll intelligence checks and look up puzzles for dummies. For kindergartners, dummies.
Yeah, and I really liked how Larian was very much kind of like, yeah, we're gonna like make sure to like make this as kind of like challenging, but also like easy for everyone to like do and all that stuff. Yeah. So
I will also say one of the things that I struggle with, I guess, with Baldur's Gate is the fact that it is virtual dice, which, I mean, duh, of course it is. But it is one of those things, like, even when I play virtually online with my friends, like, I hate if we have a virtual dice rule. Like, if I have to click on it on D&D Beyond, I'm like, okay, but I paid for the clicky clackies. I paid for the shiny math rocks. And so now I don't get to use shiny math rocks. And also, and this is really where my issue with virtual dice comes in, and where I kind of struggle with Baldur's Gate, is that if I roll it, if it is in my hand and I drop it, then I feel ownership over that failure. That's on me. Either I picked my dice wrong, my dice just don't like me, or oops, I rolled it wrong. It is what it is, and that's on me in some capacity or another. If it's virtual, either again through D&D Beyond or through Baldur's Gate, it does feel more like the computer hates me, and that ticks me off. Yeah,
as an XCOM player, of just like with like how like a possible chance of ratio of like, oh, there's a good chance, and the computer being like, fuck you, and it's like, damn it.
Yeah, I did start playing initially with a ranger, and like, I didn't even get out of the goblin camp before I said screw this, and then my friend was like, you should play a sorcerer, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I actually do like the sorcerer because the charisma bonus helps so much.
It does. It very much does. I feel like one of the issues with the game is that you miss out a lot of like potential options to get yourself out and into situations if you're not like a charisma based like class to get those persuasion, deceptions, and all that stuff.
And one thing I think is very cool about Baldur's Gate, now that I've played it a while, that I did not think was cool in the moment, is how much you can do. The world is pretty much your oyster. You can do almost anything in this game, which is great. Because that is very akin to playing D&D at the table, because it is as far as your imagination will take you, and that's awesome. However, I was playing a video game, and I was not expecting to have all these options, and so then when I was lamenting the goblin camp, someone was like, you can poison it, right? And I was like... You can do what? Yeah. How? And so I do wish that this game had maybe a bit more of a tutorial mode for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if it doesn't light up, I can't interact with it. That's just how this works. No, that is not how this works.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they could have done a little bit better job with context clues and everything.
Yeah.
To kind of like, but no, it's a really fun game. It's a like a big on your memory and everything. That's like 147 gigabytes or something. Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, it's on my system that only has a couple games on it because of that.
Yeah. So if I have to want to play like another game, I think I have to like uninstall like Baldur's Gate and then like install the other one. But no, it's definitely worth it, especially with how like all the patches that they did with extra content to like flesh things out was so good and also free, which was like, God damn, okay, cool. But no, I really liked it. Again, it also had some of the problems of the Honors Among Thieves, where it kind of like stuck a little bit too close to the lore of things and kind of like that stuff, and that made me sad because I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Can I tell you, I made my director so upset with me because I was dissing Mind Flayers. And I literally was like, there is no way for a Mind Flayer to be an interesting antagonist. They're just they're just evil. There's not much else to them. There's just no way to make them interesting. And he was like, finish Baldur's Gate and say that. And I have not finished it, to be fair, but I have kind of watched the ending, and I'm like, I still kind of stand by what I said.
Yeah. There is some like complexity to do, especially with a certain character you meet later on that is a flayer of the mind that is like, all right, cool, but still it still kind of feels like the hive mind, we are superior of psionic abilities and stuff.
It's the hive mind. It's the basically infecting with a parasite possession type deal. Like, those are all pretty bad. So there's not really a way to code those as good.
Yeah.
Morally gray perhaps, but not good. And so I don't find that as interesting as some other villains. And so, but my director was just like, how could you say they're boring? And I was like...
Yeah. Which also made me sad. No, it's all good. It also made me sad because there was, like, also, like, little glimpses of, like, them, like, showing of, like, other races and species and stuff kind of, like, going out of, like, their typical box that they usually are in and stuff. Because, like, you have interacted... I remember, like, at the carnival... when you're in the city and stuff, and there's like the circus, you have a necromancer who is like I believe drag queen. I don't know. They were very fabulous. It was very just elegant drag queen vibes and everything. She's the hair, the dress, and she was like, "Hey, I need you to find pieces of like my best clown and everything and all that stuff." And was like, excellent. And also there was like when you're like in the Underdark and you get to see the mushroom people. The
Myconids.
Yeah. The Myconids, which also underrated like species in D&D. I feel like we should have like them as a playable race one of these days. That'd be kind of cool to be a mushroom person. And you had like there was like a hobgoblin dude who was like kind of like there as a shopkeeper, and like during the first act, the only other hobgoblins you met was during like the goblin camp and everything, and he was like very friendly and peaceful and everything, which is like, oh, okay, you guys can like do that and stuff. Cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
and he's rocking with a Mind Flayer too.
Yeah, that was also the other thing I was like freaking out about. It was like he had a Mind Flayer buddy, and the Mind Flayer was like, "Sup, I'm a Mind Flayer. I don't really like eat people, but sup."
Yeah, no, I remember meeting those two, and like especially together, I was just like, oh my god, back away, and then they were fine, and I love them both, but I was still like in that first moment, I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, oh yeah, I was like, yes, give me that. I don't know, because like I remember when like the D&D Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering card set came out, I think, which is also in a lot of the themes of D&D media and everything. There was like a card called Runaway and everything. It's a blue card. I'm a Magic player. I have a whole bunch of Magic cards.
I have Magic decks, but I will tell you, none of my decks are blue.
What colors do you rock?
I've got a green and red, I've got a white and green, and then I've got a solid red.
Hells yeah! Gruul's the best!
And my absolute favorite thing to do is use that red goblin deck, solid red goblin deck, on blue-black players.
Are you rocking Kranko?
It was like trash cards. I have no idea.
Oh, sick. Okay. Yeah.
It, like literally, I got like boxes and boxes of trash cards from my friend that was playing. She was like, "Yeah, we're not using these," and I was like, "Okay." And I just like built a deck out of that. And then my situationship at the time was like, try to beat this blue-black deck, and I smothered him.
That sounds like a Demir player.
It was so funny. Because he could never get anything out. He has to have like 6 lands to get anything out. And I'm like, 3 goblins, 3 goblins, 3 goblins. Oh, you don't have anything to absorb it. Straight to your 20 HP, bitch.
Love it.
It was so juicy.
Yeah. Anything with green, I'm all the way. Especially red, because that was my first colors I got into. But yeah, in the D&D set, there was a card called Runaway, and it had like a cute little picture of like a goblin and a mind flayer kind of like holding each other's faces, and I was like, ah! It's so adorable, and I'm just like, somebody at Wizards or somebody give me a romance with these two. I don't give a fuck. I need it. I don't care if it's like a tragic romance, if they both die. I just want it so badly. But yeah.
I haven't played Magic in ages.
Oh god. I was an avid Commander player and like watches also like Commander shows on YouTube and everything. I was just like, it's always been fun. Yes.
My boyfriend plays Commander a lot, and my mayor plays Commander, and so I've been like, hey, we need to do Magic with the mayor. This would be so fun.
Yeah. I fucking love Commander. It's such a fun, good time. But yeah, we were talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Yes.
Yes. we were talking about the Myconids at the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like the Underdark with the mines, and just kind of like seeing how like Larian would have like these little like glimpses of other races being more like actual human beings instead of like being depicted as their usual stuff and all that stuff. And like that's like the one thing that kind of like is like hampering me for like giving it like the perfect grade and stuff. And also I just like how they treated my boy Will. Like I want more stuff for my boy. He's my absolute knight and gentleman. I don't give a fuck what everyone else says. Will is the best character. He is best boy. Astorian don't got shit on him.
I did see something that basically was trying to say like, if you're gonna do oh god, what's it called when you like play one of the existing characters? The origin character?
Yeah, origin characters.
Yeah. That the best one to do that for is Will, because Will is built so easily to be the main character.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It kind of makes me think that maybe if it was like initially planned for Will to be like main character and everything, and then like he could also have like his voice acting be the dialogue choices you do, because the one thing with like when you have like your Dirge, well, not Dirge, like your Tav, that's what their name is. Their Tav for like
what game you been playing?
I have not played Dark Urge yet on Baldur's Gate. I don't know if I have the strength for it. But
I don't have the time for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But for Tav, like you have the dialogue choices and everything, but it has like that Dragon Age Origins problem of like you hear them having like voice lines out of like cutscenes and like during action stuff, but when they're like in cutscenes and everything in dialogue, they don't really have voice lines or reactions.
It's an unvoiced character. The line you read is the line they say, and that's it. You don't hear them say it. But they have like those battle commentaries. This is an Origins one, not a Baldur's Gate one, but the can I get you a ladder to get off my back?
Yeah. Pretty much. Oh, love it. Yeah, and just because Yeah, I really do like and everything. And also I appreciate how like they also really went in depth with like the Gith race and everything, because I feel like people kind of like look at the Gith and just kind of like, that's a stupid race, and just kind of like brush them off. And oh, Lae'zel, oh my girl.
Yeah, I think Lae'zel is very interesting. I do feel like with D&D specifically, like when you're playing it around the table, there are so many different playable options, both class and race or species. And so it does kind of become like almost repetitive in some ways. And so at a certain point with like the Gith, like there is kind of a layer of, okay, let's pare down our options. And there's also a level of comfortability with like what we're willing to play with in the lore. Because there's, again, like you were saying with previous canon of D&D, maybe not being the most cool. There's definitely a layer of the DM saying, well, the amulet says that's dumb, so we're not going to do that. And just throwing out established lore. Like a lot of people homebrew, and even if they play in Forgotten Realms, they're not using Forgotten Realms lore.
Definitely. And all that stuff.
Case in point, the god Lathander. Because he is illustrated a lot of times as, like, the good guy. The man is not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God of light and birth also tried to overthrow the whole pantheon. So.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's that kind of thing. That sort of stuff gets overlooked a lot and just tossed out for ease of narrative, which is, again, totally fine. But a lot of that does sort of get forgotten in the same way that the Gith do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's also like some really fun like Easter eggs with Baldur's Gate that really kind of like shows its love letter and stuff. Like Elminster, the big old wizard dude with the red robes and stuff. Like I didn't know who the oh, go ahead.
I'm a Gale romancer, so I was just like, that fucker.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Like I saw that dude and everything, and I was like, okay, this is like an oddly charismatic, quirky wizard dude. Okay, I kind of vibe with you. And then I was like, then one of my friends told me, oh yeah, he's like a famous D&D character. I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna go check out his stuff and everything. Look at his stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh god, I was a little sad that we didn't get like Drizzt or anything in the Baldur's Gate games and everything.
Baldur's Gate 4?
Oh, hells yeah, that'd be cool. Because, Drizzt did show up in, like, a, hack and slash co-op video game that they did and everything. And everyone loves Drizzt. He's, like, the most iconic D&D character who's, like, from, like, the books and everything. So, yeah.
Well, one question I have for you, specifically in the context of Baldur's Gate and Honor Among Thieves, is both of those are set in the Forgotten Realms. And I think one of the things that would be really easy to do for Paramount if they wanted to expand on the D&D movies is to do other settings, such as Eberron or Ravenloft whatever. But, like, what are your thoughts on the Forgotten Realms being, like, the stereotypical D&D setting, the go-to?
I mean, I like it. It's like a nice it's like home base. You're comfortable with it. It's like like the basic rules and everything. But I feel like in order for things to like get better and just improve on itself, you're gonna have to be a little bit brave and check out the other planes of existence and everything and explore. Because Eberron is like this really cool steampunk espionage clans family-esque thing and all that stuff with like the dragon tattoos and everything, which is like a cool mechanic.
Keith Baker described it to me one time as pulp.
Very,
like that was the word he'd wanted to use for it, was pulpy.
And like Barovia would be having like somebody do like adapt like Curse of Strahd into like a show or movie. That would be pretty fucking dope to see, and maybe would like make me like Strahd a little bit better, because to me Strahd is the pinnacle fuckboy. He's a fuckboy. He is the clingy. Okay.
No, I need to hear this. That was not where I thought you were going.
Okay. Yeah. Like everyone says like, oh, Strahd is like a compelling villain. He's such a tragic figure and everything. And he's like his romance with like his previous wife and like trying to get her back. And yeah, I was like, okay, first off, yeah, we've seen this so many fucking times in other vampire media and everything. It's a little played out, but well, okay, I'll digest this. Two, your boy is so very toxically clingy to the girl and everything and all that. And I get, yeah, your love and everything, your love of your life and everything, but you know, you gotta let go and like move on and everything. I don't care if she has like, if someone has like the same appearance as her and like and all that reincarnation, who can you do and everything. But if it's a different soul of somebody else, so you can't be like, hey yo, you look like the girl that like died in front of me.
You look like my late wife. Want to get married?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I've been, like I said, I've been reading it recently and talking about how, you know, like we mentioned earlier, how like dry it kind of is to read. But I was reading through it. This is the first time I've actually read through the adventure. Like I've watched it, I've played it, whatever. But this is the first time I've read it. And I was kind of catching that bit, and I was like, this is just Disney's Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is what y'all wanted me to pick up on.
Yeah. And like Strahd can be a villain. I think he'd be a very good villain if people would like stop looking at him as a tragic figure and him being what he is actually, the romanticized. He is the manifestation of the toxic vampire trope that people kind of like, ooh, that's kind of hot and everything. It's just like, no.
So I do think there's something interesting to in there. Basically, talking about like the Victorian vampire as like a representation of sexual repression. I do think there's something very interesting to explore there with vampires, Strahd included, as romantic figures. However, I do feel like Strahd's own lore kind of shoots himself in the foot. Because number one, like you said, he's like toxically clingy to Tatiana, who in the canon lore is going to marry his younger brother, and then on the day of the wedding, he kills his brother and she flings herself from the top of the castle.
God damn!
Right. Like, and I read this yesterday, so like fresh in my mind.
Okay.
But that said, like, okay, so now Strahd is an example of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Like, specifically toxic masculinity. That is not a romantic or tragic figure.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to sort of, like, reskin it, where, you know, his father has died, and he and Tatiana were in love and were married, and now she is also dead, and his brother's dead. Like, yeah, you can make Strahd a tragic character, but you have to change the lore to do it. If you go with the lore as written, he is toxic masculinity.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, but no. Yeah. Stuff like that. And, like, just, I want, like, other, like, D&D TV shows and media, just, like, explore the other, like, realms that are in D&D, like Barovia, and, like, and with, like, how it's also, like, connected to, like, Magic the Gathering and all the cool planes we got there. Because we got Mythos and Strixhaven are both, and Ravnica, Ravnica. Are both like magic settings and everything, and everyone loved like the guild house setting, which I'm always a fan of, like having feats and like backgrounds where you're like associated with a group and everything. And like I have like 2 settings from like recent magic sets that I am like begging wizards to like put into Magic, because one of them is New Capitana, which is like 19s, 20s, 30 gangster everything, and I'm rolling 20s and all that stuff, and I'm just like, yes, I love the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic, artwork, fashion. Yes, time period of that time sucks. Probably don't want to actually live in there. But the other one is Bloomborough. We were just like a whole bunch of like little cute little animals, like squirrels and mouses.
It's giving Once Upon a Forest.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very, very much so. It was just like it was very, 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 very cute, and I'm just like, this is fucking adorable. God damn, I want this as a setting, because I feel like that'd be really cool, and all that. So yeah. What about you? What do you think? Like D&D when like coming with like other media and stuff should with like movies and shows should like expand themselves into like other realms to like so it's not like Forgotten Realm main planet all the time and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do, and I think too, like a lot of it depends on your genre. And like Daggerheart kind of does this with their oh crap, what are they actually called? They're like frames, I think. They're setting frames. Yeah. But like, you know, you wouldn't want to do a gothic horror in Eberron. You want to do that in Ravenloft and Barovia. You want, you know, your pulpy steampunk in Eberron. Like and there's so many different settings that I'm just not thinking of. I know there's Dragonlance, but I honestly don't know too much about it. So like there's so many different worlds, so many different vibes, and I feel like sure, it's nice to explore more of Forgotten Realms, but also why not break off and do Dragonlance for a little bit? It just could be fun.
I mean, because Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And again, it just depends on the genre of story you want to tell.
Yeah, because we did get like a Dragonlance like campaign book a while ago, I think, and everything, and everyone was pretty hyped about that. So it was cool to like see them revisit stuff and everything. And Dragonlance is like very beloved, especially with like old school D&D fans, because when that was like also like the big thing of like the book series of like the two main authors that were a couple,
Tracy and Laura Hickman.
Yes, who just like really rocketed everything. And I did started reading like one of the best and famous story books in there, the Twin trilogy and everything, which I'm just like I'm so hyped for and everything. So I'm just like, yeah.
Which also, like, just side note, Tracy Hickman also worked on the Curse of Strahd adventure.
Oh shit! Oh hell yeah! Okay.
I opened up that introduction. I was like, I know that name.
Yeah. Hells yeah! Oh, love it. That's so good. And oh god, I fucking love her style and everything. It's so emotionally intelligent with characters, and it's just like as a writer as well for like books and everything. I'm just like, oh yes, because that's an aspect of like writing people kind of like forget about, like when it comes to things of like describing characters. Like show don't tell, but also you can show the emotional train process and reactions chain comboing off as the character's processing a scene, like, oh, c'est magnifique. But I guess that's a good transition to like talk about novels and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't have any novels or written work other than you know, adventure guides, like exactly what it says on the tin. I can't think of any like novels I've read that either are D&D inspired or like just D&D, or they've like played in the book. I cannot think of a single title.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's all good. Like the Dragonlance series, always very, very, very good. I still feel like they need to be like reprinted or like put in like a digital library at least, because like the only way to like find a lot of the old school D&D books from that time frame is like your secondhand stores and everything. So
and if your secondhand store is like mine, they charge double for it.
Really? Oh, damn. Okay.
No, it's really annoying because I've gone and been like, oh my god, like these books, blah 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 blah, and I'll check like online how much they're asking, and even if online they're asking for like a new release price point, my used store will charge like almost double that.
Oh,
like I've seen so many different books, like D&D books that go for like $30 a piece. They've been asking $70, and I'm like,
oh,
no.
God. No. Yeah, that's bad and stuff.
So fingers crossed your secondhand bookstores are not like mine.
Yeah. Like the ones I've been into, that's like kind of like a good distance away from where I'm at and everything, is like got a nice collection and like all very good reasonable prices and stuff. And I got like a whole bunch of them for, I think they were like either $4 or $5 a pop, and if it was like a really good condition book, it would be a little bit extra, which was like, yeah, okay, makes sense and all that stuff. But there's like the Dragonlance series, there's also a key like module, not a module, a key setting in D&D that was in the beginning called Greyhawk, which feels like that's like the father of like all of the planes and everything, and the Forgotten Realms have just become like the star favorite child and everything. So, and which would be kind of cool because Greyhawk is like very medieval fantasy, strict to the bone and everything, where Forgotten Realms is kind of like, yeah, we're kind of like a cottage urban fantasy medievalness, but also we're flexible with all these other things and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I feel like Forgotten Realms is probably the most adaptable.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily genre specific.
Yeah. And there's also I'm surprised there's not a lot of like media with like Astral Seas setting and everything, because really cool stuff with it. And like when you check out like the stuff and everything in there, it's like, oh damn, because also there's like famous like characters that are like space pirates. Like there's like, I found out when I was like, look, Ricky searching Mind Flayers, that there is like a pirate captain Mind Flayer dude, and I'm just like, oh, that sounds sick.
Did you mean Treasure Planet?
Oh God, yes. I love Treasure Planet. Yes. Yeah, oh, it's so great.
But no,
and, like,
give me the Starfinder movie.
Yeah. Oh yes. God, that'd be so fucking good, and everything. Yeah. And yeah, of course they would have to like rework a few things for like the Astral Seas. Looking at you, Hazardies. But no, it'd be really cool, because it'd also be fun to see like a big old hippo dude kind of like walking around and just being like, yes, let's go on adventures. Let's see. In like one setting I kind of don't want Wizards or D&D to ever touch in like books or movies or like anything is the Dark Suns setting. That no. That is a bad set. That is. Oh!
I actually do not know anything about the Dark Sun setting, so I will have to look it up.
Okay. Yeah. Dark Sun setting, like content warning and everything. Just like it's like it goes dark fantasy and everything, and just kind of like, hey, you want a dark fantasy? All right, we'll give you our pretty dark fantasy and stuff. And people are very much like, no, this is a setting we can just bury. And there were like books set in that series and stuff, but people are very much kind of like, yeah, we don't need that because.
Yeah, I'm reading the wiki right now. Designers presented a savage, magic-ravaged desert world. And while that alone is maybe not condemning in and of itself, I can kind of see where we might be going and why this has been shelved.
Yeah. And when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, is this like a Mad Max type of thing? And I was like, okay, interested. Looked into it and hearing other people about it, and I was like, I'm good. So, yeah. And then,
using the desert as a metaphor for struggle and despair, this presents a truly alien setting, bizarre even by AD&D game standards. Rick, nah, dog.
Oh God.
No one's ever lived in or seen a desert before.
Yeah. yeah. Oh, good Lord. And
yeah, no, that's definitely icky based on just how we as a society, as a world, have treated people from desert cultures such as the Swana region.
Yep. And then
as if people didn't live and thrive there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like the other like key like pillar of like D&D books would be like the Drizzt series that's been very written from well-known American author R.A. Salvatore and everything. And I've read like the first Drizzt book and everything because I was like, all right, I kind of want to like know because Drizzt is like famous character and stuff, and it's good. It's good. R.A. has like is really good at describing the action scenes, and it's just like, ooh, that's pretty cool. But also, it's still early. Like, maybe was it 2080, 90 when like with the whole thing, and Drow being considered the baddie people and everything.
I wasn't
and
playing at the time, but yes.
Yeah, yeah, and they were very much kind of like, yeah. And if you don't know anything about like drow lore and everything, it's pretty much matriarchy. That's the word, right?
Yeah.
Of just like, yep. Of
Women
just,
run.
like,
Yeah.
Women run the world. Men birth and everything, and
yeah. The issue was that it was like, okay, it's matriarchal, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, and they're all evil, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, which was like, okay, what are you trying to say, Gygax? What are you trying to say? And, yeah, and like, and there's also
he
like
probably had a woman at his table that was like, hey, dude, that's fucked up, and he was like, women are bad.
I feel like very much so. It was just like maybe like he got like his heart broken by some woman who was just like, you know what?
Yeah, Gary, who hurt you?
Yeah, who hurt you, Gary? But yeah, no, because it did like explore a little bit of the drow, and I guess it did started the path of like evil races being more empathetic to people and like starting that train of momentum, but it also just like also did the Baldur's Gate problem of like, here's one empathetic person that's like out of it, but everyone else, nah, and just like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you can check out the Drizzt series, just remember all that stuff. And there's also like graphic novels, comics of said D&D stuff and everything. And like for other like books,
I mean, there's the Adventure Zone comics as well, which is very D&D.
Yes, very D&D. There's also the Fantasy High comics and Critical Role.
Oh, I forgot they were comics.
Yeah. They got comic adaptations of like Fantasy High that came out like maybe this year or like I know it was like very recent.
Yeah. I think it was like maybe over the summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're so right. There's the Critical Role comics. There's the Fantasy High comics, the Taz comics.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's tons of graphic novels that are D&D.
Yeah, and there's also like Die, which is like a pretty much kind of like a Jumanji-esque like TTRPG setting of very much of these players playing a D&D game. Oh yeah, hells yeah! One of my friends kind of like gave me like all the volumes digitally of like Die, and I was like, because I've heard of it. I was like, and I remember like Madness Diamond talking about the system in one of their videos, and I was like, ooh, that sounds like a really cool system because you're also playing your character in the fantasy world and also the player in real life, which I'm like, fuck yeah.
I was actually thinking about this. So I'm playing in one of these games right now for the Dicey Tables podcast. So whenever that gets posted, that will get plugged. But so we're playing this game as characters, and then we are going into our D&D world as said characters. I was thinking this would be such a cool system to use to do something like Code Lyoko.
Oh God!
And you like
that.
go in and out.
Oh hells yeah, hell! Code Lyoko, underrated series.
Fantastic series.
Yeah, I fucking love that series, and that's with that and everything. And we've been talking for a good chunk of time and everything. Yeah, because this is like one of my favorite
really got
series.
going on this one.
No, I've always loved discussing this and this subject and everything. And like, there's also actual plays, which is like pretty much like everyone accepted and knows and well known about everything. And like, there's also like kind of a stage show of it because as a theater person, there is the 20-Sided Tavern, which you've probably seen on TikTok, and
the spin-off Tales from the Tavern.
Oh, I did not know about that. Is that like an actual play show?
I believe so. My sister went to go see it, so I have not seen it myself, but it does have a dungeon master. My friend Will is one of those dungeon masters. So
nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I really wish I could have gone to like any one of their shows because they were like off Broadway, and I'm like, yeah, and like they got like famous like TTRPG personalities, and even like one of the voice actors of like. Yeah, Astorian's voice actor, Neil Newborn, was there and everything. And I was just like, God, theater, I wish you could just, like, be okay with, like, putting out, like, live recordings of, like, their shows and putting it on the internet for people to see.
But, yeah, as of today, Halloween recording, 20-Sided Tavern is touring. And so Tales of the Tavern is the spinoff that is basically still in New York City.
Okay. I wonder if...
Is my understanding.
Okay. I hope 20-Sided Tavern is like it's going to be in Midwest Minnesota area, because that'd be pretty cool. But yeah.
Fingers crossed they show up in Atlanta, because I guarantee they won't show up in Nashville. We're not
Oh,
nerdy
yeah.
enough, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But yeah, they're that's pretty much also it. Oh no, wait. Also, a special shout out to music creators and artists and everything who write D&D inspired songs and everything. Fuck. Because you have Arcane Anthems.
Yes,
obviously.
that's who I was going to say was Arcane Anthems.
Yeah, Arcane Anthem, Ghostlight Girly.
Archive? Was that Archive?
Yeah. Yep. And who's she's also like an artist and a singer as well, and she has like a whole song of like a bard and everything, which is like fucking hilarious. Kate, what? Oh, I have to look at my like songs real quick. Okay, hang on.
I do know a few people who do D&D, either music for your table or just songs to haha about D&D. But I honestly am not. I for whatever reason I don't always like lock in who it is. And then I have to like go look it up by the TikTok sound, because right now what's playing in my head is the like, me and my boy's gonna mess you up. I rolled a one. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, that one was really good. Cammy Cat, she's so good. She's so good. She's just like I fucking love it, and it's just like it's just like a nice goofy song to just like really relax you and just get you in a happy mood. It's just like yes, but yeah. Go check out other people like that and everything. They will have like their socials and like a place you can support them, like Patreon, Ko-fi, and all that stuff, because we support the homies and stuff. And I think that's like pretty much in on my end. Is there any like closing remarks you want to say with like D&D media and stuff?
Not any really closing remarks. Can we please get out of Forgotten Realms?
Yes. Forgotten. Yeah. Let's. Yeah. Very much. Wizards. Let's get out of Forgotten Realms and explore more of the other planes that you have totally forgotten. And for my own personal taste, urban fantasy, modern urban fantascy, Forgotten Realms D&D setting. That'd be pretty cool. I'm always a big fan of that.
That reminds me. Do you remember that? I don't even remember what the movie was called, but it was Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And that orc guy was they were police officers together, and Will Smith had a vendetta on fairies or something.
Yeah, that. Oh God, I was like, okay, watching the trailer, I was like, okay, maybe this will be like a goofy buddy cop movie with like a background of like fantasy, but then seeing how it portrayed a lot of things,
it was not good. At all. I do not remember most about this movie. I really do not remember anything.
I remember some of it and everything, because I remember watching it with a friend, and I was like, oh, this is so problematic.
But can we get that concept? That modern fantasy. Can we get that concept? Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That'd be fantastic. Just look at Fantasy High, look what Dimension 20 is doing with that, and just kind of like, don't like copy word for word, just be like, I'm aspire and borrow and acknowledge and everything. So but no, that would be pretty much on my end. How about you?
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Yeah, all right. So thank you, everybody, for listening, watching, and everything, for Roll to Talk and everything. I am your co-host, Dice&Autism, he, they. You guys can find me at the socials at Dice&Autism, which will be in the descriptions and stuff and all that jazz. And, you can also follow Witty X Witch over here, which, tell them where they can find you and stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok. I am posting again.
Hells yeah!
And you can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky some of the time. And you can find me on a bunch of different shows like World Tree Quests and Dicey Tables Podcast. And that's pretty much it for the moment.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. You all have a fantastic, lovely day, and be kind to yourselves. Peace.